Hello. I'm not doing this one for very long. Folks are coming within less than 2 hours, so. Alright. Tracking's a little wonky because I have switched to the keyboard. It's because I changed the camera sensitivity on the keyboard and the spyglass dampening. I'm not sure the latter of which what it does. But that fixed it. Okay. I'm just gonna get everything in this chest because we got birch saplings in a biome without birch. What we're gonna do is mine in to the earth. I had to basically reinstall this world, or I had to reinstall the game Bedrock edition because I was playing this game with my brothers last night and wasn't very had to figure that out for like the first like hour and a half. I was calling both of them as they were having fun playing on the world. As I was trying to figure out how to install this game. Thinking next time I should put some music on the stream. I gotta figure that out somehow. I don't know how much it would matter for something like maybe for Minecraft it would have to be the exception, but for other games that I would want to like play through like emulation, that would have to be something to figure out. Let me figure. Not. Thanks for doxing me. Whatever, I already doxed myself. We'll get the stone. We'll get the axe. It's honestly much better to play this game with a keyboard. Doesn't matter which edition. I only started putting in the bonus chests because I've been through the song and dance of just like doing like starting out in a world and building shelter so many times to the point where I'm just like I'm getting sick of this. I just want to. Oh my! Get this out of the way. Um, this one's having glitches. Um, or the mouse I'm using has some glitches, and that is an in-game glitch based around latency. Uh, this isn't a bad spot to build a house, realistically, like at all, especially with the torches that are set up. Yeah, I don't know if that menu popped up. I was getting mad because the news menu on the Windows that I'm using popped up, but I'm not sure if it did for like the stream. I would presume it would not. Um, OBS seems to do a really good job in making its technology accessible as much as it is presentable. Did a very good job in oh, and now it closed down on me. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Where I'm playing this with I'm using a mouse and I'm playing this on like a couch and sometimes it misclicks against my will. Like it'll right click even though I clearly did not right clicked. Like that. It does stuff like that. It'll pause the game against my will and it'll like click out for whatever reason. And so I guess I'll have to figure out a pattern on how to like reduce that as best as humanly possible. Because I'm not sure if it's me. It's like a mix of two factors. It's sometimes the controller will right click when it left clicks, or the mouse will right click when it left clicks, even though it distinctively has a left and a right click. Although the mouse I'm using isn't necessarily gamer oriented relative to the one I initially bought that came with the Digital Storm that I bought at the time of what was it, 2020 or 2021? It's 2019 if anything, because yeah, it had to have been 2019. Because that would have been when I transitioned into the new job I would have been working for, starting like January of 2020, and some very interesting things happened with that, which I don't I don't need to go into. I have no interest in going into it. I just want to enjoy myself playing this game with hypothetically nobody. This is not a bad spot where I was spawned. I'm wondering if I should ascend all the way up to this point. It's not a bad spot. Should does the sun sets over there and popped up against my will again. Likes to play games with me. Like I said, the mouse I have isn't really PC oriented, but yeah, the secondary issue. It does this because the way the mouse is working, it sometimes scrolls outside of it. Like if I move around and I put this to the center and then I move around and now it's all the way to the right of the screen. If I just move, yep, all the way to the right, I'm not sure if that technically affects, no, it would not affect. I don't know what spyglass dampening is necessarily, but it would not affect the way the cursor of the mouse is behaving, that's for sure. Because that would also, because it's something that applies to the controller, I would. The issue I'm having is that it clicks out sometimes, and I have to very much do this annoying. It seems like the issue is inescapable no matter which mouse I do end up using. Um, but we're gonna keep this basic. Do this. I'm gonna make a farm. Then I'm gonna put this down. I'm getting frustrated this stream. I do apologize. You're scared. My angry voice. It's just the issue is that the cursor is moving out and sometimes it clicks out, and that can be very frustrating when you're trying to like, especially do a live stream of any sort of game you're playing, and it doesn't. Seems like the only real issue of resolving that is not having just playing with the controller seems to be the only way to like truly fix that, even though I'm most proficient in playing with the keyboard. Maybe it is also an issue with, I have no idea. I don't know if the controller that I currently have plugged in plays a significant aspect into this issue, but It's very frustrating that I have to constantly press E just to like adjust the where the cursor is. Very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. But hey, you know it's not frustrating, this mining technique that I've decided to stand by. And I can hear skeleton. Who knows what I will discover. It's like unloading a shotgun when I press E twice to just readjust my cursor so it doesn't off click out of the screen. Uh, you're not gonna hear the end of it. I don't know what else I have to talk about. I don't have much time to begin with. Um, who knows? I'll spend an hour just setting my position, setting my foundation with this world, and I guarantee you at some point it will escalate to just me deleting the world because I have to update the game again, and then it did it again, did it again, it did it again, did it again. No good, no good. Did it again. Begs the question what some of the conflicts normal like streamers go through sometimes. It's not an issue with streaming at all with the OBS. It's just the way. It's literally the way that this like entire Minecraft Bedrock thing is conjunctively set up to be like multi-accessible, multi-platform. You know, I want to build a chest right here, just in the ground. Just so I have access to some resources for the time being. Piece of bread. And I got some pumpkin seeds. We'll just put some of these items away. And are we making more chests? Like so. One. I think we'll do three. It would be so much awkward for me to craft items if I were to play with a controller. It would be stilted awkward, and I'm still not quite sure how I want to manage the cursor for the mouse in question. Alright. Or the controller, specifically, not the mouse. Controller, mouse, tomato, tomato. This is no good. This is no good. We are going to do this. I like to just build a bunch of tools, shove them all in one spot, and then just make some new ones. So I have some spares when I die, so I'm not struggling to find some items. And then I have this other stuff that I could start from a blank slate. And what else? Let's gonna be annoying to try to do that accurately all the time. I'm wondering if like putting a slab in between these two blocks would have just been a better idea. It's not too late to try that. We're gonna, yeah, we're gonna make some more. We'll make some more. Back up, man. I got a swordfish. Well, I got a gunfish. Oh! My introduction to Metal Gear Solid that wasn't like Smash Brothers was the Newgrounds Metal Gear Solid Flash Collab, both Disc 1 and Disc 2. That was my introduction to Metal Gear and like all the lore tidbits. And I think that one, and I think it might have just completely cemented all of the like staple like aspects of Metal Gear Solid into parody form, the same way like Dragon Ball Abridged did. And sort of like people recognizing characters and kind of breaking them down in simplistic, flanderized ways. But no, Newgrounds Metal Gear Solid Flash Collab was peak. It's pretty kino. Pretty much rules. I grew up with it and I enjoyed it. That was when the internet was allowed to just be completely vulgar and nobody tried to dox your family or run ops on you or go into Discord groups and try to like rally for your destruction. There is kind of like an aspect with that that I was thinking about with I'm considering getting into reading Ranma, and I only emphasize consider. I haven't actually started reading Ranma 1.5 yet, but the only reason why I'm considering getting into it is because there's a lot of like the remake recently came out, or the remake show, and a lot of people kind of just have like issues with it that basically didn't, it kind of held it back, which is the thing people were saying, that were like, hey, hey, try not to push this to a point of no, like, don't push this topic to a point of stupidity, and then people push it to a point of no stupidity. Well, the issue was that I was watching some like review like from 3 years ago, where it's this video by Bonsai Pop about how it's like Ranma 1.5 is like ahead of its time. And the thing with that I picked up on is that he makes it like a really big deal that it's like this huge feminist show, that it was made at a time when women were like in Japan especially, like just weren't seen as like effective like mangaka or accepted as such, when it was mostly like a guy centric market on top of other stuff, and how like traditions saw like women blah blah blah. But there's like a huge like there's a contention, there's like a juxtaposition point between like pushing that idea, and then there's like other people making videos basically calling out fans for literally just pushing stuff that doesn't even exist in the show, that doesn't actually, like, they're just pushing it because it needs to be quote unquote updated. It's a juxtaposition between people saying like Rama was quote unquote ahead of its time, and then people going, no, but it didn't go hard enough, and we need to, this is why we need to push these like aspects, rather than just being like, you can't just make like a remake, like a proper remake of the show, like what people asked for. And then yeah, and then people like, it kind of came into the general consensus of people going, it didn't really need to be remade, especially since what we got with the remake is just things got toned down to a noticeable degree that you just can't really look away from. I remember like on Discord, on some Discords, people literally were like, there's like a still from one of the episodes of the remake where it's like female Rama in a bath, and then people are like noticing that the ass is like rounded, like there's no like ass cheeks whatsoever, and then that just kind of sealed the deal. And I feel like that single handedly might have just sealed the deal for the discussion of like, is this remake worth it? And then you hear the other aspects of like stuff they changed, and I'm just at the point where it's like maybe I should just get into this series and like read it for myself and come out of it with my own perspective. Like like the initial like you got to keep in mind with a lot of these reviews, like these reviewers channels, like they got big. Serious happened again. They got big at a time when like a lot of this like a lot of these like reviewers channels like historically for decades made a lot of these like new properties and whatnot like big thanks to their reviews and whatnot. um I think the moment like the whole like the whole concept of like someone liking like a fan wanting to review something because they're passionate about it in terms of like entertainment like died when I Hate Everything made that video on The Last Jedi, where there's a big popular theory is that a thing that he says is that he he saw he apparently saw The Last Jedi like 3 times because he loved it so much. Um, and then a lot of people suspect that like this is something you can even trace to the this is something that we know for a fact is public with that one like over the top like Star Wars fan reacting to the like Star Wars 9, I'm just going to call it Star Wars 9, like overhyped Star Wars 9 man. We know for a fact that Disney he got made fun of on the line, and then Disney kind of swooped him and then kind of gave him like a sweepstakes event where he went to like he got like free rides to the Disney World or whatever. But that's something people are like suspecting with I Hate Everything with that particular review of The Last Jedi. And Star Wars is like a franchise has had some very very concerning issues just as like just having the fan base that it had even conjunctively. Um it's kind of I feel like Star Wars fans kind of pushed the envelope of like it seems like Star Wars fans just seem to very consistently ruin the very prospect of like you had reviewers online, and I think Star Wars fans might have just like especially Star Wars reviewers, like Star Wars movie reviewers or Star Wars TV reviewers, they might have just single-handedly contributed to ruining the prospect of being a fan of something and hearing about someone talking about something that you like. Um but man, the thing that made me really sad recently was AVGN is being harangued again. He's being like harangued again over his literally because he refused to review the Ghostbusters 2016 movie, and the media is literally going after him for that. And it's like to the point where they're literally trying to like trace him to the outright. Like they're trying to literally like the way I look at it is that they're literally trying to like incentivize that he's the reason that Call of Duty shit talking like culture existed, which it's like no it isn't. He and the only reason why you're mad is literally because he said no, I'm not reviewing something because I'm not interested. Boo hoo. It's a movie. It's a movie. It's entertainment. It's not a big deal. it should not have to be this big deal, you know, to the extent where people are just being out, like, people literally criticize projects from, like, new, what is it with entertainment? Having this insane, like, psychotic, God, entertainment was supposed to be fun. What happened? Now it's literally just little, like, teenage girls, like, trying to ruin the lives of dozens of guys because they don't like the color of someone's hair, or they don't like. There's gonna be like the day they haps code this stuff is gonna be the day I lose my marbles. They start haps coding character designs. They start haps coding like the way a face on a character, where the eye placement of a face needs to be for it to not be CP like coded or something. It's like your entertainment is being like strong armed to a degree where it's like, you, dude, we did this for, like, to escape the real world, and it's being absolutely occupied by it's like being ruined by like a different culture where now you have to take it absolutely seriously, where you're expected to take it insanely seriously, like it's this new cultural thing. I think like it's like to the extent where it's like, I know, like, I feel like you have like Overwatch, you have Blizzard literally paying people off. You have like all of these big games being of just people being paid off to review them. It's a good view. They're being paid off to do reviews to not lose all their social connections for the greater goods of humanity, as their wagey teacher in their school classroom demands that the right side of history is you sitting down and keeping your fucking mouth shut. You don't know what you're talking about. And I, as an agent of the state, I mean, as someone that is basically more trustworthy than your parents, you need to know what the right side of history is, because the right side of history is not what you think it is. It's what people. It's what the others think. It's what we think. It's what you need to consider in our perspective. Anyways, I'm losing my mind today. I don't even know where I initiated this hole, but I might just start another one. I might just dig another one. I'm a feeling it. I think I'm gonna. The difference I'm gonna make is to set a crafting table without descending, and then I'll. This is where I initiate the dissension. Oh, speak of the devil, I get some free lighting. Maybe we'll return to that shortly. Actually, you know what we'll do? We'll keep it basic. Wondering if I should just make a door for the time being. Hey, iron! We're getting somewhere. Now, oh, this is nice. I hope it's not. We'll just do it like so. Man, entertainment used to be a lot of fun. I remember I grew up on a Nintendo Entertainment System. I grew up on the Nintendo GameCube, the Sega Genesis, and I played Sonic the Hedgehog, or Sonic 2. I played Echo the Dolphin. I played Jurassic Park Rampage Edition. I played Arrow the Acrobat. Those were my Genesis games. Those were the four Genesis games I distinctly remember. I know for a fact that I remember playing. Um, hmm. Nintendo Entertainment System games, I don't remember a lot. I just know for a fact that I had Mario Duck Hunt Deluxe Edition or whatever. I, Deluxe Edition, I might be recalling the Game Boy Color Edition, which is the one version of the Mario games I absolutely remember playing. Mario Game Boy Color Deluxe Edition. I remember that was in the movie Little Vampire. I don't know if you remember that movie, The Little Vampire, where it had the vampire child named Rudolph, literally named Rudolph, like the red-nosed reindeer, and that confused me as a child. I'm like, why is he named after the reindeer? And why do they never reference the fact that it's named after the reindeer? It's literally like a I forgot the like little nerdy kid what he was in, and I don't want to say Stuart Little, like the main character of that movie, but yeah, Little Vampire. Ignore that you didn't hear anything. These are, I'm stumbling upon my words because man, things really went awry. Yep, going awry. Things are going awry. Well, things are just going quite awry. Let's stop that. We'll just make three of which. That sucks. Games used to be fun, and now it's literally just like I gotta get off this topic. What's actually on my mind is how when I say, man, games have gotten so like they used to be a lot more fun to talk about, and the thought constantly goes back to Game Grumps, like when they first started out, and then like the way I would say like Game Grumps ages is that like the opinions they said were pretty much of their time, and they're pretty much a staple. It's like the same reason you would watch like Sleepy Cabin or like Super Best Friends play, maybe. But yeah, there was no like that's so surreal that at one point there was no like hostility against one another. Like they were just friends, Aaron and John. And the weirdest thing about it is that their separation became like symbolic of like the current political situation that we're living now to a terrifying degree. Just got a text from my therapist asking to reschedule a little earlier, like 30 minutes earlier. But is this a good thing to talk about my therapist with? The socio-political the socio-political implications of Aaron and Jontron of Game Grumps splitting up and how it has actively caused the world to split up on a on a disturbing, horrifying basis of oh dear, something we haven't truly experienced since the fall of the Roman Empire. Frankly, I don't want to admit that's the case. That's terrifying to see that's the case, but you have to look at it in this way. Uh, Live streamers Destiny and Hassan Piker, they both got popular. Like Destiny got popular from that stream with JonTron, and that was supposed to be JonTron's reputation destroyed, completely ruined. All of the friends that he ever collaborated with, um, basically screwed him over. And there's no good way to moralize it. It's they prioritize business over friendship in that moment. And that wasn't the end of it. Especially considering how I'm less weirded by the texts Pro Jared sent, and more weirded out by the fact that he literally cucked his friend's wife. He like started a polycule with his wife and then his friend's wife. It's to a degree where one day I just went to Rubber Ross. That was the guy he cucked. I went to his lives, or I went to his Twitter one day. I noticed the thing that stood out to me. The two things that particularly stood out to me was that, like, for he got into Twitch live streaming. That's not one of the things. One thing was that he was wearing like a black leather jacket, which is usually a sign, oh fuck, he had a horrible divorce. And did some horrible thing happen to him and he's drawing sexy ladies on his like Twitch stream. Which begs the question, oh damn it, oh dear, oh dear oh god, and nothing went public about that at the time. Nothing about that went public at the time. And another hint, and then I was given another hint in the form of what was that? The official podcast with Moist Critical and Co. Where it was the episode with Rubber Ross as like a guest, and then he went on stream. And then I was reading some of the comments and somebody said they referenced that like on the stream he referenced yeah, I have a happily I'm happily married and I think I'm he says like yeah I have a good marriage and I'm like I think I think things are gonna go well with my life or something like something very like something ironic, horrifying like some horrifying jinx he just inflicted and cited upon himself. He jinxed himself on stream. Jeez. Those are like the ugly aspects of like friendships and business getting in the way. Like when you mix friendship and business together to such an insane degree like that, um, things get ugly. Things get very very ugly. Um, that was one of the first. That was probably one of the like most eye opening. That should have opened a lot of people's eyes. Like in terms of just like how quickly friends can just devolve into like trying to manipulate and screw each other over. Um, I think the stuff with what Ding Dong revealed about how that one guy he told about him trying to off himself 12 afters after he did it. How he did a quote unquote like he pulled the oh wouldn't it be funny wouldn't it be funny if you literally did it then and then you cited Aaron and Susie as being the people of pushing you into doing it. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that just be funny? Not that it would happen or anything. Um, that's not even like the worst of it. I don't even know if that's the worst of it. I think the thing that's really telling is the thing that gets more disturbing that I think about is the fact that he confirmed that they do just engage in fake fights, literally as a dissuasion tactic, because they know they're being like stalked by literal by the people they wanted to pander to not look racist. There's no better way to just say it. There's no better way. There's no better description than what that is. There's just no better description. They didn't want to look. They didn't want to be the guy. They didn't want to be the guy who went on Destiny stream who said that like like rich blacks commit more crime than poor whites. Google it. They didn't want to be that example. And but the thing with John that ended up being the thing that ended up saving him. That I don't know if they. I think they kind of like. Let me. The best. I don't know if they would have seen it coming. I don't know if anybody would have really seen. I don't think that's why JonTron. I don't think that's why JonTron. I don't think he realized he was doing that. I don't think he realized he was pushing crazy people away at the time. And I don't think he did that deliberately, but that's what ended up being the case. Because what ended up happening was because the guy who because Game Grumps is just a super corporatized entity. They're under a bunch of contracts. They're you know probably in a lot of like probably in some good amount of debt to keep this company perpetuated. Yeah, That Game Grumps stuff gets very heated. It gets very heated. You got to be careful. One time I commented something in like a comment section in regards to that whole thing with Aaron and John. It was literally like it was two people spending 3 weeks arguing over like the John v Destiny thing. Anytime that incident gets brought up, it gets heated. Like you get your chuds laughing their asses off. You get your tankies just panicking at the seams. Um, a lot of stuff happens. A lot of things happen. You have and then you have like 5,000 federal informants telling on each other. Anytime, the name Jontron is a kill phrase. Honestly, the name Jontron is slowing down this stream as we speak. I guarantee it. Game Grumps is a kill phrase, and it's slowing down this stream every time I bring it up. Ewy. God damn. And I'm the one guy throughout that whole thing. I had to just be the one guy who grew up on Eager After. Not there's like people who clearly grew up on JonTron through his game reviews and didn't know the fact that he got popular thanks to Eager After, propping him up like really hard at the time. Back when YouTube had like public likes and that you would just see the likes of all your favorite creators just go public and you would see all of their comments on all of the videos they would make. And that was like the big appeal. And honestly, that was like my favorite aspect of like visiting those websites like Twitter and YouTube at the time. Like the fact you could just interact like as instantaneously as humanly possible with just like people you're fans of. And that was always a really cool aspect. That was always something that I always found was always like like you say like celebrities you never felt further away from people. Now back then you never felt closer to your favorite celebrity, and that's the tragedy of some of like websites like Twitter and what they became, and or just like. And here's the thing, like the culture probably like we were probably in like a cultural decline for like a good while, even before we were born, even probably before our parents were even born, if you think about it. Like we've probably been in cultural decline. Um, the thing that I find frustrating about this cultural decline is that the internet is like this amazing thing for technology, this amazing feat, and the appeal of it is that you grow up on video games. You grew up, whether you grew up on PlayStation, whether you grew up on Nintendo, whether you grew up on Xbox, whether you see people online getting into shit fit flinging arguments, trying to out retard one another, or people or just people trying to be passionate about something they enjoy, starting new genres of entertainment, pushing for new genres of like just trying to innovate the genre as best as they possibly can. Um I wonder with like how since YouTube is pushing the post feature, I wonder if like web comics are going to start to make like mini web comics are going to start to be given a bigger limelight to shine. That's something I've been trying to utilize and get into much better. It's still work in progress. I have no idea where I'm going or what I'm doing aside from just running around. But I'm so disgusted. I I'm very disappointed. If you grew up like I'm disappointed as someone who grew up in the era of Newgrounds when I first found Eager Raptor through his awesome guide and animated stuff. Um, I grew up with it. I just grew up going on Newgrounds and finding his stuff and saying, man, this is like the most revolutionary type of entertainment. Like this is actually like the most rewatchable content online at the moment for me. And the thing with with Aaron with the Raptor is that a lot of people do not know that his Newgrounds background was the thing that made him popular to the degree that when you were online, everyone knew who Eager Raptor was. Everyone. Everyone knew who Eager Raptor was. All of your favorite content creators knew who Eager Raptor was. And the Nostalgia Critic collaborated with him. The Angry Video Game Nerd collaborated with him, if I recall. You got Psychic Pebbles, co-creator of Smiling Friends, being friends with him. Oni got popular thanks to Eager Raptor. JonTron got popular thanks to Eager Raptor. Um, he was the content creator at the time. He guest starred the Super Best Friends play on Game Grumps. He went to do a cameo appearance for Rick and Morty, which is the worst cameo, I would argue. That whole show. He went like his influence has a place. His influence has a place in Hollywood. It has a place in entertainment, much like a lot of other Newgrounds people, generally speaking. Um, Although I think a lot of Newgrounds people, because they got such success, they got acknowledgement in Hollywood. Their acknowledgement in Hollywood, they didn't realize they were pretty much in the late stage of Hollywood as well. Um, so a lot of the people that really, really sucked up to the Hollywood culture, they're gonna be screwed over like the absolute hardest in hindsight. Um, but they'll do whatever they can to push for their the least screwed over in terms of Newgrounds people are like the Sleepy Cabin type of gang and like some Newgrounds people like Kringles and like the Swain I would assume is probably not as fucked. He has a family, you know. He's probably a dad. He's probably doing other stuff. Kringles is just doing madness characters and probably drawing furry porn of them. Crinkling their diapers. I promise you, if I ever do like an interview with Kringles, it's gonna be the first question I ask him. So, is the etymology of your name, does that have to do with diapers? Nah, I'm just kidding. I think I did just ask him that in a YouTube comments, and he responded within 15 minutes. Actually, I forgot if he just said like no. I think he just said fucking no or something, or he said it in a way where he clearly made fun of me for even asking him, which is perfect. This is the only response you would ever want from someone like Kringles. So I would just be asking him again if I ever did do an interview with Mr. Kringles of Madness fame. Honestly, a better question would be, yeah, how does it feel that Bunny kill has exceeded in every single regard of Madness content? Fucking little bitch. Dude, even though like the Bunny kill creator is like, I'm never working on this project again, and I don't. And the only reason I'm letting two thumbs like re-uploading it is because I explicitly gave him permission to do so. He seems to be he seems to be like the Bunny kill creator seems to be very very conservative with this property, which is honestly we need more of. I think the thing I feel kind of upset about as someone who's been on Newgrounds, um, ever since I saw Awesome Gaiden featured on the front. That's when I entered Newgrounds. I guess the thing about it that kind of disappointed me was that I never found things like Alfred's Playhouse a lot earlier. I know who Emily Yukis was. I didn't know like I knew for whatever reason she was being sensationalized by the media, being like this outright figure that hates Jews, which isn't even really anything, which isn't even like a right wing position at this point in time. Um, Case in point, Twitch culture. Um, but no, she's like a newgrounder who her claim to fame was literally just like trauma art, and honestly, she might have. I don't know. I would not say she invented whatever like the schizo genre. Is that a proper word? Schizo genre. I'm trying to think of what the term is that what she does in videos that like YouTube poops are just known for. That's not even like the first example that I could think of where that even is a utilized thing. All the way back in 1996, Alec Empire's album The Destroyer, he was doing some crazy types of stuff with that type of like I think he uses delays. It's specifically like utilizing delays in music in a really insane, intense way that gives the music a punch. And I know in his songs "Don't Lie, White Girl" he really uses that. My face would crack when the drop hits. That's the very first thing you hear. The delay, just going AWOL. That drop is so good. I have to say. But Emily Yukis does that in her video for Alfred's Playhouse. That one scene at the beginning of like episode 2 of Alfred's Playhouse is pretty. That's something I'm that is stuck in my mind. Poor Emily. Poor Emily. She for those that don't know about don't for those that don't quite know of the context with Emily Yukis in conjunction to Alfred's Playhouse, Alfred's Playhouse is it's a parody off of Pee Wee's Playhouse, as you can tell, and it has a lot of authoritative like politically leaning subtext where there's references to just like you have like references to like communist leaders, references to Nazi leaders, just in conjunction to this like wacky, crazy, zany setting. But the thing that's so stand out about it is that a lot of Alfred's Playhouse is her basically it's basically trauma art, or it's basically based around her horribly traumatic experience with her being molested by her father. And there's a character in I think episode 2 of Alfred's Playhouse that it's like a delivery guy who she said she's like based off of her teacher or something. And I forgot the context if she was someone she tried to cry out for help to, and that's what that experience is based on, where the teacher starts crying, or the guy just starts crying, and he just starts like emptying out like every belonging that he's ever owned because he's terrified for his life because he doesn't know what to do with this dog creature just going absolutely crazy, having an episode, not knowing how to react to stuff, not knowing how to react to the world, unfortunately. The all three parts of my god, 134 134 The y coordinates are that high up, and I'm finding iron like crazy? That's fucking insane, though. That's awesome. See, this mining method is god tier. And I've found something pretty cool. I'm going to carve this out. I'm gonna carve a out. Alright, we're making some progs. Making progs. Do I hear rain? Let's carve out this area. Make it bigger. Make it all bigger. I don't know if I like this idea. I'm just gonna... This is no fun. I wanna make these chests. I'm just gonna make 4 chests. It's gonna be pretty self-explanatory. I love. Sorry if I'm silent. I'm just trying to organize all these items and seeing how I want to continue. Blah blah. You should make some furnaces as well. Overreactions. Do you believe in separation or do you believe in counter segregation? Do you believe that the races should be split or do you believe that the marginalized should have full control over the Lorithian? The choice is yours, my friend. What does it mean to run ops? What does it mean to be an operation of gay, of Sinide? Operatio Kennedy TS. Operatio Kennedy TS. Why is there shit? Is that a goat? You're gonna kill me? He's getting close to me. Can I shave you? These trees became all snowy. And this view be viewing. I'm trying to think. You know what? This view is too nice for me to continue much further, so I think I will stop here. And I will see you next time.